former Finance Minister P. Chidambaram. Speaking exclusively to Network 18, Chidambaram warned the government of unintended consequences. He also questioned the Reserve Bank and urged the government to release the minutes of the meeting between the centre and the central bank.
I don't know who were the directors of RBI who attended that meeting, but clearly it was scripted. The meeting was called, I think, on the evening of the 8th, and they made a recommendation to the government to withdraw the legal tender status from 500 and 1,000 rupee notes, and the cabinet met immediately thereafter. Again, that was scripted, and the cabinet approved it. Now, I'm not commenting on the cabinet, but I'm certainly asking each one of the members of the board of RBI, when were they first taken into confidence about the so-called demonetization? Was it a command performance? Were they told, this is it, and you have to approve it? What was the discussion at the meeting? Did anyone express any dissent? Why don't they release the minutes of that meeting, as well as what were the views expressed to the meeting? I think it will be very instructive, because this is a momentous decision. After 1978, when the so-called demonetization of 1978 was done, that was like a mosquito bite. There was only 2 to 3% of the notes were high denomination notes. Now, if you take a decision of this kind in the year 2016 and to immobilize and impound 86% of the note, did the RBI directors know about the enormity of the decision they were taking?
Mr. Chidambaram,
I doubt it.
You're saying you doubt that the Reserve Bank was in control of the demonetization, but let me ask you a different question, sir. You have in the past as well questioned the credibility of the GDP numbers. As you pointed out, you're virtually sucking out 86% of the liquidity from this market. You can call the disruption or the dislocation short-term, but what do you believe is going to be the real economic impact? People at this point, I think, largely groping in the dark looking for answers. In your assessment, what do you believe is going to be the real impact on the economy?
See, what drives an economy is money. We are a monetized economy, largely monetized economy. We are not a barter economy. And if you suck out 86% of the currency in circulation, obviously it will bring the wheels of the economy to a grinding halt. Already, Tirupur, Surat, Ichal Karanchi have all come to a grinding halt. Nobody's got money to pay wages. Nobody's got money to pay for this ancillary services. What we are seeing now, Shireen, is only the first order effect. You have not yet seen the second order effect.
What is that? You know, because the truth is that the finance minister a short while back, and I'm quoting the exact statement made by Arun Jaitley, he says that we have to reduce currency in circulation in order to deal with the terror elements who are there in our country. He also says we have to keep normal supply of currency, and then we have to move all wings of the economy in a digital direction. What exactly is going on here, sir? I
mean, I'm just hearing what you say he said. I don't have the text in front of me.
This is the exact quote that I've got.
The first and second sentences are contradictory.
How?
What is the level of money supply that is required for an economy that is growing at X% rate is a matter to be decided by the RBI. The government can't decide that. The supply and demand for money, for currency, must be more or less balanced. If supply of money is more than the goods and services that are available, there will be inflation. If supply of money is less than the goods and services that are available, there will be a price crash, as we see today in onion prices and many other prices. So I think the finance minister is not quite right in his formulation.
The third point that he's made, and again I'm quoting him, he says banks will have far more money to support interest on trade, interest rates will come down, and then the Indian economy will grow. Is that also contrary according to you?
No, that's purely speculative.
Speculative.
He is counting the deposits that are being made in the first few days. But people have no option. You have to deposit in order to change your money. For example, I had 13 1,000 rupee notes. I had no option. I put it in the bank. bank will count it as a 13,000 rupee deposit. But I pulled it out 5 days later
So
because
the
I need
government
the
doesn't
money.
benefit in any way.
No, therefore, what benefits the bank is the net deposit.
Yeah.
After the initial rush of deposit, there will be a rush of withdrawal. Net of the withdrawal, what remains, of course, is a gain to the bank. But that is purely speculative. You don't know whether people are going to withdraw the money or whether people leave the money in the banks. We don't know.
Mr. Chidambaram, the fact of the matter is that this decision is going to stick. Whether or not there will be more changes, we've pretty much seen changes coming in every day is a separate story. I want to keep the politics of this aside, sir, and I want to talk to you about solutions. What do you believe needs to be the way forward from here? As a former finance minister, since we're talking about this being, in a sense, a national project, that the government has almost positioned this as a national project, what should be the way forward, Mr. Chidambaram?
There's no way out of it. You have already broken the egg, hoping that you will make an omelette. What you have made turns out not to be an omelette. You can't make the whole egg again. You have taken this step, now you have to bear the consequences of these steps.
So let me ask you this. As a former finance minister, and there's a lot of talk about the kind of fiscal space and the fiscal cushion that this demonetization move will provide the government. Forget the fact whether the RBI providing a dividend to the government by way of extinguishing this currency is legally tenable or not. That's a separate matter altogether. But the budget on the 1st of February, how do you see the finance minister thinking of the budget in this context, sir? What kind of implications does this move have on the budget?
For the revised estimates of the current year, that is 2016-17, I think the fiscal deficit will be easily met. I don't believe there is any difficulty in meeting the fiscal deficit target. But what they plan to do for the next year is the more interesting question. Are they taking into account a potential windfall? I don't know if there's already an agreement between the government and the RBI. You see, RBI's dividends have always come out of existing revenues, existing reserves. Existing reserves. Existing reserves come by RBI's profit in bond trading and currency trading. Now, I know there has been some speculation that RBI will extinguish that part of the money that doesn't come to the banking system,
Right.
create a corresponding reserve, and then out of that reserve declare a bonanza, a dividend to the government. Now, whether this is strictly in accordance with central bank accounting practices, whether it's in accordance with international central bank accounting practices, is a moot question.
Final question then to
Is
you,
a moot
Mr.
question.
Yeah.
Therefore, I hope that there is already not a deal between government and RBI.
Well, that is the former finance minister, P. Chidambaram.